Hey there. Sorry, didn't see y'all there. Just doing some drills at a USPSA match coming up here pretty soon. But that's probably not what you're here for. What you're probably here for is today we're going to be putting the Staccato HD P4 up against the Glock 17. So I've got a handful of drills, quote unquote, and tests that we're going to do to test the accuracy, the reloads, the triggers, all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the video, hopefully it'll give you a better idea if you should get a Staccato over a Glock, or maybe the longtime champion, the Glock 17, will take home the gold. For the first sort of test, I guess you could say, we're going to be doing a 25-yard 5-shot group with each gun. I'm going to be sort of supporting myself here on this barrel, and we're going to try to get a nice and tight group, slow and controlled shooting. And, you know, obviously there's going to be some shooter error involved in this, but going to do it with both guns and see how it goes. First up is the Staccato. I'm going to be shooting at the head bots of these USPSA targets. Okay, let's just set this down on the ground. All right, Glock's turn. We are locked and loaded. Rode the trigger a little bit too much there. Might be one flyer, but let's go take a look at the targets and see what we have. Okay, so this right target here, left target, right target. This right target was the Staccato. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I think through this hole was 5. I can't be 100%. I should be overlaying some footage. Either that's 5 or it was somewhere off to the side, which is completely on me. And then for the Glock, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'd say definitely a little bit better of a grouping for the Glock. You know, I could sit here and make all sorts of excuses to try to help the Staccato, but that's what we have. Let's go on to the next test. All right, so for this next test, drill, whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to be testing the raw split times that you can get on the trigger. So again, this one's going to be heavily influenced by my skill. So you may be able to pull the trigger faster or slower, but today I'm going to be the one pulling both of these triggers. So we'll see if one is faster or slower than the other. I'm not going to be worried about the time. I'm going to use the shot timer just to measure split times. All right, let's take a look really quick. 18, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18. We can come take a look at this target just for shits and giggles. Not too bad. Let's do the same thing with the Staccato. See how this trigger is. The overall time was a little faster, but I think I started shooting sooner. 14, 14, 15, 16, 15, 16, 17, 15, 18. So just about the same. I think I had a couple more 14 splits, but so take a look at the target here. Started losing my focus, so some of my shots started going upwards, but I mean, the targets are fairly similar. I definitely noticed, so again, this is Staccato target, Glock target. Got a couple dropping low left here versus going high, but just shooting some doubles. I would definitely say like my good shots are a little bit tighter here on the Staccato. I just lost visual focus here and some of my rounds started tracking upwards, but in terms of the trigger performance, you can pull the trigger just as fast with either gun. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. All right, so now we're gonna do a couple build drills, but really quick before we do that, let's kind of recap what's happened so far. So I would say, if you wanna say like which gun won each drill so far, I would say the Glock definitely did better on the 25-yard accuracy, just simply because I had all 5 on paper. There's no question. If I look back at the footage and you can tell where that 5th round went on the Staccato, I'll reevaluate it and I'll put something on the screen. But I'd say the Glock took the 25-yard accuracy, and then I'd say the Staccato took the split times. I had a couple more faster splits in there, and it just, when I'm shooting, it felt more consistent. And then the grouping on the target was a little tighter. I had those couple rounds go high, but it just felt better shooting the Staccato for those split times. So we'll do 2 build drills for each gun. We'll calculate the hit factor and then average the 2 out, and whichever one has the highest hit factor will win this drill. That was fucking terrible. It's a 221. I've got 2 alphas, 4 Charlies. Sorry, that was 2 alphas, 3 Charlies, and a delta. It was a 905 hit factor. All right, let's do a second one with the Staccato really quick. Better hits, slower first shot, slower time, 251 overall, but much better hits. Let's take a look. 1, we'll call that a Charlie. 2 Charlies, 4 alphas. Time was a 251, 4 Charlies, sorry, 4 alphas, 2 Charlies. There was a 1036 hit factor. I'll average those together, put those on the screen now. Let's do the Glock really quick. Cool, 255. I'm seeing 3 alphas, 3 Charlies on that guy. It's a 941 hit factor. That felt really good. 222, believe that is all alpha, yeah. That was a good run. All alpha, 222. That's kind of surprising because I think that's gonna, when it averages out, I think that's gonna put the Glock in first place for the build drills. Yeah, 1351 hit factor. So that is, I believe the first run was a higher hit factor, and then that one was definitely a higher hit factor. So that definitely puts the Glock in first for the build drills. All right, so for this next drill, we're gonna do 2, reload 2. Again, we're gonna use the same hit factor scoring. Don't really care about the hit factor so much. We will look at it, and it will play a factor in the winner of this drill. More so I care about the reload time, because even though they advertise that you can reach the slide stop with your thumb, it is a little bit weird getting around the safety. So for myself, for ease of use, I just end up dropping it with my support thumb, as does every other 2011 owner for the most part. So I want to see how much of a difference that actually makes, if any at all. Got that first shot off before I was even on my sights, but it was actually dead center where I was looking. So that was, flip this guy around. I don't know if you can see that. 3 alpha, 1 Charlie. 3 Alpha 1 Charlie, 355. First shot was in a 108. Second shot, 132. It was just over a 2-second transition, so it was a 206 transition, rather 206 reload, with a total time of 355. It's a 507 hit factor for the first run with the Staccato. God damn it. It was all alphas. Mad got hung up 488, much longer than the first one. It's a 4.1 hit factor. Sorry, I forgot to mention, first shot was in a 119, reload was in a 335. So that magazine getting hung up definitely took a bunch of time off of that. Had that not happened, that would have been an all right run. But let's go on to the Glock, see how we do with the Glock. Fucking terrible. 416. First shot was in a 146. Reload in a 231. And we've got 3 Alphas, 1 Charlie. 433 hit factor. All Alphas, 376. First shot in a 134, reload in a 207. So I think both of the reloads were actually slower than the fastest reload with the Staccato. Take that for what it is. I will say, since I've gotten the Staccato, I have pretty much trained exclusively with the Staccato. So all the matches I've shot since I've gotten it, all the range time, everything I've done has been with the Staccato. So I was noticing when I was doing the reloads with the Glock, I was still going for that support thumb slide lock, slide release. Could easily make that, cut off at least a 1/10 of a second if I were to just smack it in and hit it with my firing thumb. Be a little bit faster, but that's where we are. We calculate this hit factor really quick, and then I will average it out and put it on the screen. I think, don't quote me on this, you'll see it on the screen which one won, but that was a 532 hit factor for the second run there. I think the Glock still edges out the Staccato on that one. So yeah, I believe that puts the Glock up 3-1 over the Staccato. If I was, doing the math in my head incorrect, something different, I'll put it on the screen. But let's go on to the next and last drill before some final thoughts. All right, really quick before we get into this last drill, I just want to mention something. If you notice, this video is titled Part 1. So this is Part 1. We're going over sort of the general performance of the two guns. Part 2, I'm going to film a little bit later. I'm not filming that today, because it's going to require some more stuff. But part 2 is going to be a quote-unquote torture test of both guns. So it's going to be sand, water, mud, that sort of stuff. Just absolutely destroying the guns and seeing which one continues to shoot, continues to function, even after getting extremely dirty. So if you want to see that, make sure to like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Turn on notifications so you know when that video goes live. It should be the very next video coming out after this one. So do all that stuff if you want to see that. I don't think anybody's done that on YouTube yet. So if that's something you want to see, let me know down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe so you can see that when it comes out. All right, enough rambling. The last drill and the final drill that we're going to be doing before the final thoughts is going to be one of my favorite drills. It is the Gateway Defense Standards. It's the first sort of drill that they have in their standards. It's the sits, reload, sits. So 2 bill drills with a reload, basically. A lot going on, higher round count. You really have to make sure you get your grip locked back in correctly after the reload. So let's run this with the Glock first. Man, Mads don't want a seat. It's done today. Let's see what those hits were. It was pretty slow. It was 761. Just one Charlie down here. That is a line breaker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11 alphas, 1 Charlie, 761. That gives us a hit factor of 7.62. Let's tape it up, do it one more time, then we'll do it with the staccato. Fuck. God damn. Yeah, that felt really, really good when that happened. That time was a 638. Same hits, a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just want to clarify that is 2 hits right there. So with a time of 638, 11 alphas, 1 Charlie, it's a hit factor of 909. All right, let's do the same thing with the staccato. Jesus. Hits are definitely a little bit more all over the place. 5:45 on the time. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5 Charlies and what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 alphas. So with a time of 5:45, 7 alphas, 5 Charlies, gives us a hit factor of 917. Much better hits and a faster time. Let's go. So 5:04. I know y'all motherfuckers gonna question it. 5:04. That might be one of my better runs just of all time. 2 Charlies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh shit. Never mind. Damn, so it was a good run. I don't even know where that other round went. I'm not even gonna lie. We can look back at footage, maybe see if a bullet appeared on the white anywhere, but with a 5:04, 9 alphas, 2 Charlies, and 1 Mike. Mike kills it. It's 813 hit factor. So, even with a Mike, the staccato had a 917 and an 813. Averaged out will be on the screen. Glock had a 909 and a 762. So I don't even have to do the math on that to be able to tell that the staccato wins that one, which gives the Glock 3 points, the staccato 2. Let's go back over to the bench and I'll have some final thoughts. So, Glock, staccato. Glock won the drills, so to speak. Now, some things to keep in mind. I've kind of mentioned a couple of these already in the video, but I have a lot more trigger time on the Glock. I shot the Glock exclusively from when I started my career in law enforcement up until I got the staccato, basically. So I've had the staccato for, I believe, 2, maybe 3 months now. So I've done a lot more rounds through the Glock and a lot more time behind the Glock. With that said, recently, the last 2 to 3 months, however long since I've had the staccato, I've been shooting this gun exclusively. So I've got, if you don't count today's range time, I've got about 1,800 rounds through the staccato. That is definitely a lot less than the Glock, but that has all been shot in the last like 2 to 3 months. So take that for what you will. I will say, should be overlaying some footage right now. In terms of the recoil impulse between the 2 guns, they feel almost identical. And that's interesting because this is a 4-inch gun. This is a 4.5-inch gun. It's just a bigger gun. So the reason for that is most likely just the added weight of the steel framed guns. So they claim that the little buffer that's in the recoil spring helped with controlling some of the recoil and helped dulling down the recoil impulse. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm not gonna go in there and take the buffer out. I don't know how to do that. It's just not worth my time. all that matters is that the 2 recoil impulses between the guns feel pretty much identical, even though the Glock 17 is a full size and this is a quote-unquote compact in terms of the barrel length. Now, with all that being said, obviously, we have to give the win in this video to the Glock. It was very close, but in the end, it did take 3 of the drills out of the 5. The Staccato took 2. Just to recap, the Staccato won that last drill, the sits reload sits, and it won the trigger time. And I'm sure that shows in the footage. I was definitely able to be a lot more aggressive on the Staccato trigger, and the hits didn't suffer as much. Definitely switching between the 2 guns, it's kind of throwing off my sort of process a little bit. So I'm sure you noticed in all the drills, the first run with the Staccato was usually pretty bad. Second one cleaned up a lot. I was definitely just more consistent with the Glock. I think that's easily fixable with more time behind the Staccato, more shots, but only time will tell that. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff. And again, like I already mentioned, keep a close eye out for part 2 of this video series, where I will be just absolutely destroying these 2 guns. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know when that's gonna be able to happen. I'm hoping within the next month I'll be able to get out there and film it, but just keep in mind, this Glock is my duty gun. I'm not trying to absolutely destroy it. I do need it for work, so I do need to find a time to do it where I have plenty of time to clean it and re-zero optics, just make sure all of that stuff is good before I go back to work. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for to be able to film that video. But without rambling too much, guys, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching the video. Have a good day.